Green, green, green. Gentlemen, start.
All right, welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. We got some new equipment. Somebody is confused.
I'm getting a lot of stuff that ain't supposed to be.
Imagine that. First run.
I'm getting a in the background.
What about now? What you got now?
I'm getting the same thing. All right, now it's gone. It's gone now. Ooh.
Calm down, man. Don't yell into the mic.
I'm not going to yell. All right, good evening and welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. Looks like we're alone again.
Yeah. Well, it looks like
I guess Reese, instead of us saying that he can't come around, he decided he ain't coming around.
I guess so. But I tell you what, man. What about that race this weekend?
It was a good race, and let's might as well just start with South Boston.
Yeah, we had a great time in South Boston.
And it was, man, I have never seen 3 wide, 4 wide like they saw at South Boston this time with the racing. And I mean, I've talked to some of the people in the press box, and they couldn't believe it.
I know. Did you see that one shot they had? First, second, and third was 3 wide for the lead. Fourth, fifth, and sixth was 3 wide for the second row, and then 7th, 8th, and 9th was 3 wide.
It was unbelievable. That was some good racing. And if this is the way it's going to be, with that, we still don't know what's going on with Langley Speedway. So if all these guys keep going to South Boston, can you imagine the racing they're going to have there this year?
And they had a great crowd. I mean, they had a really good crowd. I mean, I would have to say they had 3,000 or 4,000 there.
At least.
Yeah, they had they put stands up through the corners, and most of those they weren't full, but they had quite a few people in it. The stands had quite a few people. They had 31 cars.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a shout out to our Langley Speedways. Mark Wirtz did very well in the double nickel there. The Dunkin' Donuts 55.
I don't forget where he finished at.
I think it was 5th or 6th in the first race and 7th in the second race.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.
Butterbean got wrecked in the first race. He got roughed up and then roughed somebody else up and then got collected. Thought he had a good piece for the second race, and then they got in another little accident there and towed the rear end out and had the right front going down there at the end. You could tell the front end was grinding. We got to give a shout out to Maddie Ryan.
Maddie Ryan she did what she was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know she was not too thrilled about having to go to the back, but, I think that was the best place for her to start this first race in a late model, to go to the back. Get some experience,
mm-hmm.
drive around behind some folks and see what they're doing. She told us what she wanted. The top 15 would have been a good.
She came damn close.
18th and 19th. Top 20 out of 31 cars.
Yeah, I would have been happy with the top 20, especially the amount of cars that were there and the quality of cars that were there. There was a ton of good cars there. We seen Scott Riggs running around working on a car there. You had C.E. Falk. Lee Pullman. The list just goes on and on and on of how good of cars they had there. So there was a lot of quality cars.
That's Lorin. He's wanting to know what number to call.
You tell him that number?
I told him, but you know how it is around here sometimes.
What do you mean around here?
You and me are not. Sometimes we're not.
Well, speak for yourself.
We're not always.
Hey, can you turn the volume up or turn it down a little bit?
Where?
Oh, I don't know, over there.
What do you want? Where? Am I talking too loud?
Now, you might want to keep the mic away from your mouth a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But no, I was just being funny. This is Jack's side. This is what he does. This is me over here. So if the sound doesn't work right, we're going to blame that on Jack. And we can change the way our voice sounds here a little bit.
See, now you got me where I can't even type and tell Lorin Ranier what our number is.
But man, I tell you, South Boston was great. It was fun. I mean, how many lead changes did we see 10 to go 3 wide. At one time, they tried 4 wide there, and I bet they wrecked 6 cars for the lead there.
They sure did. But it was.
I mean,
they tore up some cars. Now, no doubt about it. They tore out a bunch of cars. I mean, for the first race of the season.
But for the lead, for the win. I mean, how many guys? I mean, Falk went in there. You know what? I respect Falk because he was taking a 6th place car and about won with it. He didn't care what it cost. He was roughing everybody up with a few to go, and almost paid off for him.
Yeah, and from what I understand, he's going to be running just about all the time up there too, and right?
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
I heard that from a couple people up there that he's going to try to make it every week that he can. He's going to try to be up there.
Mm.
So I mean, he's coming back into the racing. What about Philip Morris and Peyton Sellers early in that race when he ran over top of what Philip ran over?
I mean, 2 national champions. I don't know what that was about, if there was anything to it or what. I mean, both of them are well respected, so.
Yeah, I think there's some blood there, some bad blood between the two of them.
Well, that used to be his ride.
Yeah, well, they used to be his sponsor. Let's put it that way.
Okay, sponsor, car number.
The car number and everything comes from, I think Clarence keeps the car number.
I got you.
So,
but yeah, it was a great, and all the races were great. The modified race, it turned out not to be so great. Then we had 5 cars, and there was 2 at the end. They had a few,
and one of the cars at the end wasn't even on the lead lap. So
yeah, and finished second, and they had trouble all day. They had a carburetor issue.
And you had in the, what do they call the first division that they had out there? What do they call them? The sprinters or?
I don't know, to be honest.
Anyway, they had Kirsten Simmons won her first race in that race. Her sister's already won one. She has a twin sister.
Okay, that was the girls. I think that's kind of like a mini, not a mini cup. I was going to say.
It's almost like a mini stock.
Mini
division,
stock, yeah.
But I think the what they call their pure stock is more like a mini stock. I mean, because you looked at, they had the Mustangs and all that out there for that one. These were like I don't know, almost like a U car almost.
Yeah.
So, but that girl.
And they had quite a few cars there. I don't think they had 12 or so.
Well, Kirsten's going to be with us next week.
Oh, cool.
So I talked to her. She's going to be on the show next week.
Her first win.
Her first win going to be here.
That's big.
All right, now let's talk about, well, I guess the big thing there in Phoenix about, well, I'm just going to put it out there. I won.
Finally. I mean, I'm still in a positive, I feel like, because I've won 3 and I've only lost 2.
Okay, well, I won my first one, so that's all. And of course, Clayton, he sent me a message earlier today, and he says, "I'm really doing good. I'm finished second every week.
Hey, good. Clayton says we sound good and clear.
Oh, well, that's good to hear, Clayton. Thank you for.
I hear a little spark every once in a while, but it's a work in progress.
This is all new to us. I've never even talked into a microphone that
But
much.
if anybody asks, he is the sound engineer.
And I don't know why you would ask that, because that's not what I am. But anyway, Harvick wins the race at Phoenix.
You know, I was really hoping last week. I thought I lost so I could be the first to pick, because I knew Harvick was going to be the guy to beat and going to be the first one to pick.
But it was this close.
It was this close. It was. So who? I don't even remember who I had.
You had.
Who finished where?
All right. Well, to put it down.
I had Logano? No, I didn't have Logano.
Yes, you did have Logano.
Damn.
Clayton had Edwards, and Reese had Dale Jr., and you had Logano, and he finished 18th, so you were last.
Yeah, I was hoping I was last week so I could pick Harvick this past week. You know what I mean.
But he was good. I mean, he played pretty good. He's out there just far enough to, he kept coming back up to the front, kept doing what he was supposed to do. I was really impressed with Harvick in that race, and I heard on the way down here today that they were talking about, the big thing is the March Madness right now. Pick your Final Four.
Right, yeah.
Well, they were talking about that on the radio today. Pick your Final Four. And some people got on there and actually said that the elite drivers, that they see is Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. I forget who they said the other one. Oh, Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
They think Edwards is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
And then I think they picked Logano as the last one. And somebody said, well, what about Jimmy Johnson? They said, well, we don't see Jimmy Johnson being that anymore. What are you looking at now? You getting you?
I don't. I was just looking. I couldn't remember if I had that one pushed or not or what. I don't know.
Anyway.
With the whole phone thing, I just.
All right, Kyle won the Xfinity race. Imagine that. I mean, it's nothing new there. The third straight win for Kyle.
I know. You know what? I think they've got to do something about Kyle. I mean, you almost could call it a Kyle Busch rule. I think it. To me, it's almost like it's too boring to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think they got to do something about that.
And he's right there. And of course, all three Gibbs cars were 1, 2, 3. So
yeah, I mean, I think if the rest of the guys would have won, I think that's great because those guys get to make a name for themselves, and they can't. Yeah, either way, that's a whole discussion.
All right, the K&N race at Mobile, Alabama, won by Tyler Dipple. Now, I don't know who Tyler Dipple is. I've heard that name, but I've never really I don't really know a whole lot about him. And then you got, I heard that Dominique Van Waringen, she ran probably one of the best races until she got caught up in somebody else's crash. But she was out front running and winning that race. And a lot of people were saying, where did she come from? Never even heard of her.
Oh, really?
But I watched part of that. It's on the Speed 51 thing the other day. And how about this thing they come out with today? They were talking today about the if your crew chief is suspended. You know,
I haven't read it.
How you gonna police it? You can't police that.
Yeah, well, and Steve O'Donnell said that. So they would like to try to police it, but they don't know how they could do it. And I kind of agree to an extent. I mean, if you're suspended, you shouldn't be able to do anything about it. But I mean, I don't know what you could do about it.
I don't know either. I can't see it. And of course, locally, we still have no definitive words on anything at Langley Speedway right now. But
I hear we should know an answer this weekend.
Well, I got a phone call yesterday, and I won't go into names and all this other stuff of who it was and what it was all about. But I got a phone call yesterday. They're talking about trying to reopen Southampton Speedway in 2017.
And I know a lot of people down your way would love that.
They would, and you know the lady that I was talking to about this, you know, one of the things she's going to have to understand is if she's going to, and I kind of told her this when I talked to her, if you're going to bring that racetrack back and you're going to expect it to be good, you're going to have to include the people from that area more than what the other guy did. Once it went asphalt last year, or the year it went asphalt, the local people kind of backed out of it. I mean, you didn't see any of the local people involved, and that's one of the things. But anyway, she'll be with us next week. I'm not going to say anything about call.
Is she going to be in the building?
She's coming here.
Okay, good.
She lives here somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but she is coming here, and she's going to give us an update on Southampton Speedway. In the meantime, I told her that, you know, I'd be willing to do whatever I could because I would love to see it open again. It's not a Langley Speedway. It's probably not going to be anything like Langley Speedway, but I'd be willing. And she told me that they want to keep it on Friday nights.
I did see that. I did see Friday nights, which wouldn't interfere with our Langley Speedway, which would be great.
She said she did not want to come up against Langley or any place like that.
I think it's a smart move.
She would like to keep it where if some folks from South Boston want to come and run Southampton, they can.
Because wasn't it originally on Friday nights?
Originally, it started out on Saturday nights, and then he moved it to Friday nights.
Oh, when it went to asphalt.
When asphalt, he moved it to Friday nights. And that's another thing that, you know, you may have to take a look at a little bit to see, you know, how you're going to pull on a Friday night. Because you got a long trip to Southampton for some of these teams from around here, in your neck of the woods here, that would have to come there. That's a long trip down.
I don't know, what is a hour?
Maybe an hour 15 minutes to get get there. But if you open it up,
it obviously would have to be a 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm planning
2 o'clock.
I'm planning on tomorrow. I got to do my job in the morning for a little while, but then I'm planning on going over to Southampton. I understand there are going to be some folks over there again tomorrow, and I'm gonna run over there and just to see. I probably won't stay long, but I'll go over there and see what's going on because, I'd like to see it opened up, and but I also want to see Langley Speedway opened up because I think the history at Langley Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's more important to me than anything. The mystique and everything of Langley Speedway.
Yeah, we know Bill's working hard on it.
Anyway, here's our first call. Hello, how you doing, Mr. Ranier?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing wonderful. How's everything down your neck of the woods?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
All right. Well, welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen, and we're glad to have you here. You've got a lot of stuff going on with you. I mean, I was looking through some things today. Tell us a little bit about the race team that you're in with the K&N with Mike Hillman. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Are we on the air?
We're on the air right now.
Okay. It's Ranier Racing with MDM, and it's a development team. We run the K&N series, series, and we'll run some truck races as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff going on there, and you got two pretty good drivers over there with Kyle Benjamin and Spencer Davis.
We do. We have Spencer is going to be running the full K&N schedule, going for the championship, and then Kyle Benjamin is going to run 7 selected K&N and then 7 ARCA races.
Okay, good.
Then we've got Brandon Jones, who's going to run 5 ARCAs and 6 to 8 truck races.
Wow. Now, where are you guys going to run the truck team from? I mean, are you guys got your own equipment, or?
We do. Well, we're in the process of working with GMS, the GMS truck team, and they're building some trucks for us, and then we'll out. Our first race will be Dover in May with Brandon.
Okay, and he's a talent that's coming along really good too.
He is, yeah, a very talented young guy, and we're really excited to have him.
Lauren, you have a huge history in the sport, and of course we all know about everything in the past there with your father and everybody that was involved in racing. But you have a huge history. You've been there to bring along some big names in the sport. Tell us who all you've worked with.
Well, I've all the way back to Davey Allison when my father put Davey Allison in the car way back in 1987. I had a big hand in that. And and then from that point on, we brought Tony Stewart to NASCAR. And, throughout the years, I've worked with Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth and recently Kyle Larson, and developed a lot of drivers. I mean, there's many more, but those are some of the highlights.
So, Lauren, how did you get into wanting to develop drivers? Or is it just something that's kind of came natural to you?
Well, what happened was that back when my father owned the 28 car back, we got put into a position where Cale Yarborough was leaving our team.
Okay.
And we had to have another driver, and the drivers we wanted to get, and all the drivers that we could get, we didn't want. So we had to basically come up with the idea of let's make our own superstar. Mm-hmm. And at the time, the timing was right, and we felt like Davey Allison was a good choice. Hindsight being 2020, it looks really good now, but at the time, big gamble because he was 25 years old, and obviously he was Bobby Allison's son, but he had not much Cup experience, only a handful of races, and he'd actually done pretty well in the races that he'd run. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of ARCA experience and short track experience, and so at the time it was a bit of a gamble. We had big Ford Motor Company at the time, and they really weren't for something like this, and my dad had to kind of take a big risk and a gamble, and it paid off. And obviously, we signed Haviland, and we had the team for a couple of years, and then we ended up selling the team to Robert Yates, and that's what became the Robert Yates Racing team. So so we that kind of got me, I pushed my dad really hard to do that deal with Davey, and pretty much kind of got me started on the young driver thing. And then in the mid-'90s, we wanted to get back into racing. We'd sold the team to Yates at the end of '88, so in the mid-'90s, we wanted to get back into racing, actually early '90s, and we looked at some options with Robbie Gordon and actually Jeff Gordon before Hendrick had actually hired him, and those deals didn't work out. So I said, give me some time and I'll find another driver. And I just kind of went out, scouted the country, and found Tony Stewart. And so we signed him. We signed him in 1995. We ran him 1 year, 1996, and then we kind of found out that we had way more driver than we had team. But we ended up selling his contract to Joe Gibbs, and that's how he ended up Gibbs.
It was still a good investment then.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it quite turned out like I wanted it to. I mean, obviously, I've been able to put a program together with him and kept for several years like Joe did, but weren't in position to do that. And then after that deal kind of went down, my dad ended up passing away just 2 years later, 1999, and I had to go out on my own and go to work for other people. I went to work for Bill Elliott, and then I went to work for Chip Ganassi, who actually I still work with now, along with doing this of my own.
But are you spotting still on Sundays, or?
No, I'm not spotting. Last year was my last year of full-time Cup spotting, so I just do some consulting work for Chip. I do this project, this development team. So, that pretty much keeps me busy, and I'm really actually glad to be off the road. I was on the road for 20 years.
So you don't miss it yet?
Yeah, pretty run down, actually. Yeah, pretty run down.
Now, you're very instrumental with trying to get Robbie Allison started. We've had Robbie on the show. We're good friends with him. We've been up to the arena races and watched him race up there a few times. How hard is it for him, in your estimation, to make up all the time that he's going to have to make up behind the wheel of a car to get all the experience he's going to need?
Well, it's really hard. I mean, this has been a project I've been working on since 2013 to try to get him going. And when I got him, he had. I mean, it's just like taking somebody out of the grandstands and saying, "Hey, you want to be a race car driver?"
Right.
And so it's like that. I mean, I know he has this iconic name, and everybody knows his name and knew his dad and his granddad, but he didn't get to grow up, and so it's been quite a project him going. And but we've got a good plan, I think. Some late model programs we're putting together for this year, I think it's going to turn out to be pretty good for him. And this year, I'm gonna kind of know where I'm at with him as a driver, and then we'll have to decide what the future holds for him. Do we push on up, or do we stay where we're at, or what we do? And so this year's a pivotal year for him.
Now, I know he had said that he's going to try to run like 60-some races and wanted to push it to even more. I said, good God, how are you going to do that logistically?
Well, what I'm going to try to do is at certain racetracks, I'm going to try to up on features.
Okay.
He'll run two cars a lot of times. So every weekend will be two races. So that's what I'm trying to get him up large number of features. I just a lot more experience, and we're working diligently on that. Funding together and the teams together we'll see how it turns out. We may not get that many, but that's our goal.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. I've talked to him quite a bit at arena races. I ran it the last few years, and he kind of has this. It's a double-edged sword. He has an iconic name, like you said, which gives him a lot of attention. But then sometimes the people that he's racing against, it works just the opposite in some ways. So. He has a fine line to walk, and I can imagine it's got to be very difficult because people probably have big expectations for him just because of his name.
Well, he does. He has to fight that everywhere he goes, and he knows that he goes in somewhere that have a bullseye on him, and people are going to take their shots at him, and he's dealt with that everywhere he's gone. But that's just part of it. Welcome to the world. If you're gonna benefit from the name, then sometimes you have to pay for the name as well, and he just has to deal with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, one thing I want you to work with him on is he doesn't know how to tell ages very well. Me and him have this little running thing going on about my age. And, I don't like it.
we like to stir stuff up. So when we had him on the show, Lorin, I told him, I said, look, it's Jack's birthday and he's 60. So if you could just wish him happy birthday, that'd be great.
I'm not 60.
That's good.
But he played along with it, and I told him, I said, if you want to keep running arena races, you better learn how to tell how old people are. And then he got to tell me, I'm not really sure I want to.
Hey, guys, just on a technical side, you guys have a real muffled sound. Is there something going on with your mics or something?
It could be. We've got a new mic mixer, so we're kind of learning it. So I apologize. Okay.
Sometimes I'm having a hard time making you out. I hope it's not going over the airways like this, but I'm having a hard time making you out. Go ahead. Keep going. I'll figure it out.
All right. Now, one of the things on a personal note, I know you've got a museum that you're working.
All the trophies and memorabilia and all that stuff is up there, and they're building a little wing in a area in a building called the Mountain Arts Center up there, and it's kind of a cool place because they have concerts and different things like that in it. So to have the Ranier Racing Museum there, it's going to get a lot of exposure, and I think it's going to be really good. So it should be done here in another month or two, and hopefully by summer it'll all be picked up and ready to go.
Are you going to be going around to some of these K&N races? Do you go every week with them, or do you don't travel with them?
No, I do. I actually spot for Kyle Benjamin, so I go and just try to be a part of the deal and be there and act like the owner, and obviously I got some really good partners with some Virginia guys up there, Matt Miller and Doug Fuller and and Mike Hillman. So we've got a good group of people and a really solid deal.
I had thought I wasn't sure if Matt Miller was still involved in it. Matt Miller, he's been around for a long time in the racing in this area. My son actually started out with Matt when he had a Hooters Cup car a few years ago. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Matt's he owns that company, Precon Marine. Guy, his son Travis is the team manager on the team, and then Travis will actually race a little bit, sporadically throughout the year. So we've got a good group of people. Great, you got another Virginia guy, Mark Farland, is a competition director.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mark's there running the show on the competition side. You got Marty Lindley, Butch Lindley's son is one of the crew chiefs, actually Kyle's crew chief, and then Doug Howe is Spencer's crew chief. So we've got a really good group of people. I'm really happy with the guys we have.
Well, you got a cream of the crop almost there with what you got going on there. That's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't know McFarland was over there, but that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark's the competition director, and we're really excited with the people that we have and the young drivers that we have. We got a special little group there, so we're looking things out of them.
Well, Lorin, we appreciate your time tonight. We really do. I'm sorry for whatever you're hearing on your end, but we've got some new stuff, so we're going to see how this works out, and hopefully it's coming out good on the other end. So anyway, we don't know, but we appreciate your time tonight, and hopefully we'll see you at Virginia when you go up to the VIR. When you come up to VIR for the K&N race up there, we'll probably be there, and we'll hopefully be able to talk to you for a little bit.
All right, that sounds good. I'll see you there.
Okay, man. Thank you. Appreciate your time tonight.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, so far I think you just got to hold the mics a little bit far away from you so they don't spike up. But
are you hearing it now? Because it didn't act like it was doing anything a few minutes ago. That's the reason why I was wondering what we had going on. I got to call the next guy.
All right, and who do we got next there?
Next is Casey Roderick.
Casey Roderick. I don't really know this guy.
You don't know Casey?
It sounds very familiar, but I don't know.
Casey Casey's got a little bit of a history too. I mean, he's
Well, maybe he needs to send me his hero card so I can read it before we interview him too.
Yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble.
I know. Sorry, we lost internet there for a second, but we're back up and running. So,
and as soon as I find him, we'll give him a call.
Can you hear it? I can hear it.
Yeah, he said as soon as the phone call started, our mics got kind of.
As soon as the what? Wake up, Casey. We're trying to talk to you.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call.
This is the way it works for us sometimes. You notice this?
yeah.
And this kid here, he was into Bill Elliott. He was with him and Chase are good friends, and they were together in a program that Bill set up as like a young driving thing. Him and Casey were there, and then Casey went over to Phoenix Racing and was running some ARCA cars.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got
he's won a bunch of races in late models.
Yeah, I remember the kid now. I knew the name sound familiar. Can't put a face with it, but.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Roderick. This is Jack Dodson. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on. How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's going all right. We're just trying to get over a little sickness right now.
You're not sick, are you? I mean, you can't be doing all that.
Do what now?
You can't be getting sick like that.
Yeah, I know it, man.
So what's going on with your racing this year? What kind of racing are you doing this year? I see you ran. I think you ran the race down at
that one.
Yeah, I'm Montgomery. You ran Montgomery and finished 4th.
We ran Montgomery past weekend, and we ran pretty good. We had a really good car, and past August the lead with about 25 laps to go, and was out in front of him for a little bit. The car changed. He went away on me. He got back around. I still finished second.
Well, you've got a lot of experience there. Are you going to be running mostly the super late models and whatever this year?
We're right now. I don't know how much super stuff I'm going to be doing. We're going to be running down at Montgomery a lot in the pro car with Ronnie. But as far as the super car goes, I'm not real sure right now.
Well, so what all did you tell us a little bit about last year? I mean, I tried to keep up with you some last year, but I really didn't get to keep up with you as good as I should have. Tell us a little bit what all you did last year.
Well, we ran the Southern Super Series, finished 3rd in points, and I won the Blizzard Series championship down in Pensacola. But we missed. I think we missed one race, and that was at Montgomery due to some motor issues. But we ended up having a pretty good year as far as all that goes.
Have you been looking at the possibility of ever coming back into the like a truck or a K&N car or anything like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If the opportunity came, I would. We just need to try to find somebody to support us and get us back up there. But that's the hardest part, is just finding the money to do it.
He said if you reach into your pocket, he'll make it happen.
That's right.
Yeah, well, me and Casey go back a long ways. He knows it ain't a whole lot in those pockets.
Y'all are good, but not that good.
Yeah. He knows. He was with me. So do you keep up with any of those guys anymore, Casey? Or back when we were down in Daytona and you were working with Phoenix and everything?
Yeah, I still I talk to James Finch the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I still talk to the guys I used to work with up there, and they're off doing bigger and better things now, working for Hendrick and Stuart Haas, and so it's pretty cool to see those guys, progress. And Nick Harrison, he's crew chiefing over there at RCR now, on the Xfinity car. So that's pretty cool to see.
It'd be kind of amazing to go back and look at the years that you were with them or whatever down there, and we all were down at Daytona together. Wasn't it kind of funny how all those guys have kind of moved on and moved into bigger situations and have become very, very, successful at what they're doing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just this way it works. You got to start somewhere and get your feet wet, and then slowly progress from there. And that's what they did, and they've done a good job at it. So now they're sitting in a good position with the bigger teams, and just.
Well, you're no slouch either now, Casey. You won an ARCA race and you've won a bunch of late model races, and you've been down there for the snowball. You're no slouch too, so I know you're really wanting to advance on.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to race what I've been able to race and get the opportunities that I've had in the past with Bill Elliott and with Finch, working up there in the shop and getting to know ins and outs about cup racing and all that. But it's just a tough sport. A lot of money involved, and you can't really progress without money. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm just very fortunate to have the people that are behind me right now, as far as the Grahams giving me an opportunity to race for the last couple of years, and then Ronnie Sanders this year giving me an opportunity to race for him. But Ronnie's very well respected around the short tracks, and it's pretty cool.
So are you very involved in the chassis side of the car?
Yeah, on the Graham's car, I handle everything. From ordering parts to taking care of the car, doing the maintenance on the car, and setting it up every week. And I built that car from the ground up when we first started, and it's I've learned a lot over the last few years as far as taking care of my own stuff, and it's just made me better in the seat, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now tell us a little bit. Now, I haven't been able to keep up with you like I should, and tell us a little bit about you on your personal side. I understand you're married now and everything, so give us.
Whoa.
What's that?
I understand you're married and everything now, so tell us a little bit about this. I mean, I didn't know this until the other day.
That's news to me. I don't know where that came from.
You're not married? I thought you were married.
No.
Somebody told me you were married. That's the reason why I was going to hound you about it.
No, I'm not married.
Oh, well, then good. I mean, no, I ain't mean good, because my wife might be wanting to hear this, so I'm not going to say good. But okay, well, then I got some bad information. Then we had Red Farmer on here a couple of weeks ago, and he told Scott he needed to read his hero card so he'd know what's going on. So I guess I need to do that with you.
Yeah. It was kind of funny when I asked him. I'd forgot that he ran the Xfinity series, the Busch series, or whatever, so long. And I said, "How'd you like asphalt?" He said, "Well, you just sure didn't do your homework on me, did you?" He said, "Next time I'm gonna send a hero card so that you can read it before you ask me some questions."
That's right.
So you're going to be running mostly at Montgomery for the rest of the season, hopefully some other races. So who all sponsoring your car this year?
We got pitboxes.com, which is Ricky Sanders. Ronnie's son, he helped out a little bit. And as far as the Grahams go, it's just them. We don't have anybody really helping us right now. But it's just every once in a while we'll get a little help from, someone I know or or someone they know, but it's not very much.
Well, didn't you have the West Virginia Miners on your car at one time?
Yeah, Doug Epling and Kay Epling, they helped me out a lot racing, that series back in 2012, and I still keep in touch with them. They're doing good, and they help us out a little bit on the late model stuff every once in a while.
Well, good. Well, Casey, it's good talking to you. I'm glad we got able to get a hold of you tonight and talk with you and get you on the show. Hopefully we can put the word out there and get you in another ride and get you doing some K&N or some trucks or something. I really want to see you go. I'd really like to see you go up and do well, because I think you got the talent to do it.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm still working hard trying to get something going. Any little bit helps. I just need to keep my name out there and keep plugging along. So maybe something will break through.
You don't have to worry about that with me, because I talk about you all the time. I mean, when I talk to people.
It may not be good, but
no, it's mostly good. It's mostly good. I'm not going to tell them everything, but
That's right.
Okay. All right, Casey. We appreciate your time tonight. We'll get you back on sometime real soon. I hope you get to feeling better.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.
Well, looks like our volume went down. I'm trying to keep it from going so crazy. I don't know if it's breaking up or just breaking up in our ear or breaking up online.
I don't know whether it's the phone that's breaking it up or not. I mean,
well, it seems like it was doing it, but like when I'm talking now, a couple times I hear it. So I try to keep it a little away from our. We're learning. We're rookies.
Yeah, well, we'll get it straight. And Clayton's out there. He's coaching us along, letting us know what's going on, I hope.
No, he hadn't said nothing lately, so it must be good. Must be good.
All right, Clayton, you let us know if we're doing anything that, because the next one's going to be interesting. We got Tiger Tom coming on next, and that's going to be interesting. So I'm going to let you do most of the talking with him.
I haven't read his hero card yet.
You better come up with something.
When we talk, we're going to try to keep it just into the green.
Well, you just let me know. I'm doing the best I can with what I got here.
Well, that's not saying a lot.
Okay, that's enough of that. By the way, I won this week.
Yeah. Somebody told me in the beginning of the show. Oh, that was you. Yeah.
And poor old Clayton, he's sitting over there. He can't win one. He can't buy a win.
He can't buy a win. But, I mean, he's consistent as heck.
Yeah, he seems like he wants to run second every week, but that's fine. You can run second to me all the time. All right, I'm trying to locate his number here. There it is.
I was going to say probably T. T for Tiger Tom.
Don't make me say it out loud. Don't make me say it.
You need to get some of them things to hold your mic up, like a real DJ.
Hello.
Hello, is this Tiger Tom?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? This is Jack Dodson with Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. I got Scott Allen here with me. So how's everything in your neck of the woods?
Okay.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. I was going to ask you about this new thing you got going on with Cody Lane. Tell us a little bit about that. You got getting involved in a truck team.
Well, it didn't go over like we planned.
Uh-oh.
So I called it off.
Oh, well, see, now I didn't hear all that. I had checked into it, and the last I heard, it was still going on. So I'm glad that you updated us on that.
Yeah, we thought it was going to work out, but it didn't. There was too many differences.
Now tell us a little bit. Now this past year, Curtis Turner made it into the Hall of Fame. Tell us a little bit about some of your recollections on Curtis Turner.
Well, Curtis Turner, when I first came down here, I asked all the guys down there, I said, who's the guy to beat? And they told me Curtis Turner and Joe Weatherly. And I said, and they said that'll be the best two guys you can follow. So like a dummy, I followed Curtis Turner. My first race down here was at North Wilkesboro. And I followed him in the corner, and I kept saying to myself, when's this guy going to back off? and I kept following him, and all of a sudden I ended up on my roof.
Yeah, it's not good to follow him like that, then, is it?
That's how good he was.
Mm.
He went in those corners and made big turkey tails on them dirt.
You know, it was good to see that he made it into. A lot of people had told me along the line that he would never make it into the Hall of Fame for a while because of some things that happened in the past. I'm glad to see he made it in, and I like to see some of those guys get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, there's something wrong with that board over there. They're not putting the right guys in. There's a lot of guys that's in there right now that shouldn't be in there because it's too early for them.
And I will 100% agree with you on that because I've made my feelings known about it before that some of those guys, they needed to wait a little while but to get in compared to some of the folks that I think, you know, there's a lot of people that deserve to be there before they got in.
Well, it's just like, you know, you have Joe Weatherly, you got Marshall Teague, you had so many different guys, Herb Thomas, you know, Paul Goldsmith. You know, there's so many different guys back in the early days that they're getting all about them guys. I can't understand why they forgot about them guys.
Well, see, they need to put somebody like you on the board down there so they can bring them up to date on this because
he would get it straight.
They just don't seem to like they're even looking in that direction at some point.
Well, what they should do is just up the ante. You know, go with 5. Go with 5 now and go with 5 then. You know, take 10 instead of taking 5, and make it a now and then show. And this way, and most of them guys will get in. There's so many good drivers back in them days. You know, Speedy Thompson, Bonnie Flock. You know, there's so many guys that Frank Mundy. I can keep on going all day long for guys that should be in there.
Who were some of the guys that you raced against in your time that you know that? We'll leave Curtis Turner out of it this time, but some of those guys back in that time that you really think, even though they're not even being mentioned, other than the ones you were saying, but give us a little insight on them, on why you believe they should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, they, you know, all them guys drove for the good guys. They drove for Carl Keechiver. You remember him?
Yes.
You know, and back then, you know, it was rough because there wasn't that much money, and it wasn't that much money to be made. So you had to work your butt off to make these shows. And I'm not saying the guys were better back then than the guys are today. It's just that it was a lot tougher back then than it is today.
Do you think, in your heart of hearts, let's just say, do you think the drivers of today could have raced back in your time or back in that time? Because I think there's some that I don't believe they could.
I'm gonna say no.
Well, the difference is the drivers today, they've got time to go to the gym and work out. We didn't have no time. We all had to work on our own cars. So these guys today, they're in physical shape. You know, if we did what those guys did back then, you know, we'd be in physical shape too. None of us guys was in physical shape back then. None of us. It was tough then. But the guys today, you know, they're working their heads off just to get in that gym, and it's rough. It's really rough today.
Talk about, one of the things I see now, talent doesn't seem to be the thing. If you bring the money with you, you're going to get a ride. I mean, there's no doubt about it, whether you have the talent or not. And then you got guys that are knocking around here that I think have a lot of talent that just can't get a break. I mean, I'm thinking along the line of like a Landon Castle and David Reagan and some of those guys. You know, they're great race car drivers in their own right, but they just can't get the break like everybody.
Well, I know how come David Reagan didn't get that petty ride, because the petty ride was $7.5 million, and David Reagan couldn't come up with that kind of money. So Scott got the ride. It's money. It's all about money today. It's not about talent. It's money.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It just, to me, I think David Reagan is probably a better driver, but yet he doesn't have the equipment that the other guys have. And I think he's a major talent that I think could do very well.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that guy. He's my favorite. He's my best friend.
Do you still go down to Charlotte to the racetrack and hang out on race weeks down there?
Oh yeah, definitely. See, NASCAR in 1966, Bill France Sr. gave me a lifetime membership, and I've had a lifetime membership since 1966, so I could go to any race I want. He gave it to me and my wife. He gave it to us.
Well, that's cool. I mean, at least you get to,
Yeah.
you get to go down and be a part of. Because I know you used to, you probably still go down and hang around with David Reagan and his family.
Oh yeah, 100%. Whenever I go to races, I go with David.
Are you still involved with the legend cars and stuff? Because you're like building them and taking care of them and maintaining them for some guys.
That's my main business, the legend cars and the bandoleros. That's how I make my living today.
Okay.
And I enjoy working with those kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, they're very, very knowledge, and they listen to you. They're real good. The kids today, at 5 years old, they're starting to race.
Mm-hmm.
We had to be 21 years old when we raced.
Right.
So automatically, these kids got 16 years on you before they start.
Right. And it's fun. I run over at Langley Speedway, our local track here, and it's fun to watch those young kids come along and progress. It's truly fun to watch, and it's neat to be involved with those guys. So I could see where it could be very gratifying also.
Well, there's a lot of kids right now trying to get in. But how are they going to get in? Here's Casey LaJoy. There's a bunch of real good guys trying to get in. They ain't got the money, and they're not going to make it. You know what I mean? They're just not going to get in.
Mm-hmm. But and that Legend Series is gotten so it's super competitive now. I mean, guys like you have been working on those things and massaging them, and you guys have figured the tricks out on those things. I think your whole family has, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been with him since the beginning, 26 years, and today it's so competitive. Now you walk in the garage area, it's worse than Worcester Cup. Nobody talks to you. Everybody's hiding. They're all covering up all their secrets. It got to be too competitive. It got to be. We got to bring it back to where it was.
Now, back in the day, did people act like that then? I mean, when you first came into the sport, they would help you?
No. Back in the day, everybody helped each other. No. On the racetrack, there was no friends. Off the racetrack, there was friends. On that racetrack, they would fight you. Back then, you had to be a tough competitor. You have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you know about Bobby Johns and knew about him. Can you give us tell us a little bit about him?
Well, Bobby, I met him to see his father. He used to go to all those races,
Mm-hmm.
And I used to like to hang around with his father because he was shorter than me. I used to joke around with his father a lot. And his father was a hard worker. See, like I say, back in them days, you had to work on your car. You never had any time to do anything else.
Now, what is it? It was a family affair for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had my family with me, so I didn't have to pay them.
Now, what is it? It was a family affair for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had my family with me, so I didn't have to pay them. I was fortunate.
Now, what made you come down south? Because you come up from up north somewhere.
Chicago.
So,
See,
what made you want to come
Chicago,
down south?
Soldiers Field. See, Chicago Soldiers Field went NASCAR in 1956.
Okay.
So Andy Grant had told me I won the championship 3 years in a row. So he says, Tom, we're graduating you. So I had no choice. And I called Dick Doan in Dundee, Illinois, and he gave me Jim Rathman's car, which belonged to Chevrolet, and I came down south with the car. And that's how I done it.
Now, who was the first person to help you when you first come in?
Down south, Jim Rathman.
Okay.
Jim Rathman was the first one. And then if it wasn't for Big Bill France Sr., I would have never made it. See? For some reason or another, he took a liking to me, and it was what I used to call him Dad. That's how close we were.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were very close. Very close. He put me in business in 1968 in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I've heard a lot of stories like that where guys that behind the scenes that he helped.
Oh yes. Oh, yes. Guys like Clyde Lynn, Bill Champion, Henry Gray, Elmo Langley. There were so many guys, Jimmy Helms. There were so many guys back then. They don't even mention them. And those 20 guys is what put NASCAR together.
Yeah,
those
guys put their heart and soul into it. I mean, that's what they did for a living. It wasn't like today where they're making a really good living.
No, so we followed the circuit. And there was only about, like I said, there was only about 20 of us.
Now, how many nights did you actually stay home opposed to being on the road back in those days?
No, you never was at home. You always working constantly working, night and day. See, we used to run 60, 70 races back then, and we only had one car. And we used to race from, Fort Lauderdale all the way to Belgium, Maryland. So we raced Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We used to race back then. There were 2 nights on dirt and 2 nights on asphalt with the same car.
Wow.
Now, is it still hard to get into the gray area today opposed to years ago?
No way. It's impossible to get in, especially now. It's impossible. Especially with that 36 charter team.
Yeah.
There's no way. So they only had 39 cars in the last 3 races.
Yeah.
They've been stored with 1 car. It's impossible to make. Impossible. You're not going to see no more independents come back. Independents are gone. They're history.
And that's sad, though,
Oh, yeah. There's nothing to do about it.
If you
Too much money.
If you look at some of the things that have changed in the last, let's say, 7 to 8 years with NASCAR, what are some of the things that you think that you really don't like about some of these changes, or do you like them all?
No, what's the problem is the cars cost too much money. They've got too much special products on that car. They should go back to the old cars like we used to have them. Go back to them. The chassis are all the same since 1958. Still the same chassis. The chassis has not changed. And the components is what changed. All these are $20,000 brakes, $5,000 shocks, $50,000 motors. That's what's wrong with the whole situation. They got to get back and go back to like we had it. Go back to that $39 shock, and that and independent suspension. They already started with the crate motor.
Mm-hmm.
They're already starting with that. It's coming down. Next thing they got to start with is the shocks, and then next thing is the brakes. They could do it. They could eliminate it slow but sure, and they're doing. They already started with the crate motor.
Mm-hmm.
They're already starting with that. It's coming down. Next thing they got to start with is the shocks, and then next thing is the brakes. They could do it. They could eliminate it slow but sure, and they're doing it. NASCAR is doing it. NASCAR's no dummy. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they didn't get as big as they are for not
That's
knowing
right.
what they're doing.
You can't knock NASCAR. No way.
Well, Tiger, we appreciate your time tonight that you've spent with us. Hopefully we can get you back on here again and we go back into some more detail on some of the older drivers that are around and hopefully we can get them in the Hall of Fame because I'd love to see some of them go in the Hall of Fame.
We can talk about some of that gray area.
I'll do that deal.
All right, we appreciate your time tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Tell you what, he's I was trying something with my mic there, but he's a heck of a guy. I mean, he really is. I love sometimes listening to his stories, and he's very opinionated. which is gives him a great personality. I wonder how tall he really is, though.
He's not very tall because I have seen him.
Yeah, I usually see him at Charlotte when we go to Charlotte races.
Yeah, well, I saw that. Well, I've seen him at Charlotte, and I saw him at Martinsville one time. I didn't get to talk to him, but I saw him there.
Yeah, I haven't been able to talk to him any. But yeah, he has a Hall of Fame hard card, a lifetime membership hard card. But he is a neat guy to come from up north, come down and make a name for himself, yep. and become kind of best friends with the biggest guy in NASCAR, not race wise, but physically.
Yeah. All right, we're going to have to do our picks.
Okay. All right, so we've had some internet trouble tonight, so it's kind of gone in and out. So I'll have to piece together the video later, but. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us.
Well, I don't know whether to put Reese down here or not. I mean, we don't even know what he's doing.
Who?
Oh, that that dude that used to sit over there.
Sock guy.
And the
sock guy.
Yeah, the funny, the funny guy over there on the end. But anyway, we'll
we kid because we care.
Anyway, you get to go first this week.
And why do I get to go first?
Because you finished dead last.
Oh.
And hey, Clayton, you get to go next, and I already know who you're.
Yeah, he told us. I forgot. What'd you do?
What is that?
I don't know. I hear it vaguely. Man, I don't know. You got a gremlin over there.
I got something going on.
Well, you're the damn sound engineer. Fix it.
If I knew what to fix, I'd fix it. Oh, I did. See?
Oh. Where are we going to this weekend?
We're going to Fontana, California.
Oh, yeah. Fontana.
The big place down there where. So it's on you. You're first.
I'm going to go with Matt the Brat.
Matt Kansas?
Yeah, he does well at California, I think. At least I hope he does.
All right, now I need to find Clayton on here. Because he gave me his earlier.
Yeah, I could probably.
And I want to get him straight because I want him to finish second again this week.
He's due. He's next in line, or I'm going to repeat.
Okay, he told me he wants the 18, and if he gets taken, the 19. So the 18 didn't get taken, so we're going to go ahead and let him have Kyle Busch.
Well, it's only right he's next.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good bet there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. I'm going to go with a underdog in a way.
What do you mean in a way?
In a way, he's good, but I'm going with Denny Hamlin.
He hasn't done that well since the Daytona win.
I know, but I think he's due, and I think this is the type of track where he could do something. And Buck Reese will like that because I said that.
Yeah, he did like that your grandson had the 11 car on the pole.
Yeah, that was he got all his cars out and put them on the line there.
How many daggone cars does he got?
Hey, that ain't all of them.
It looked like he had a full 34 car field.
That is not all of them. He's got more.
43 car field, I should say.
It's at least 43 cars, and he's got more coming.
Oh, does he?
Yes. His mom and daddy are starting him a collection of those cars, and they've gone back and they're giving him some to play with and some they're holding. So, But anyway, he's had to send me a message and say, "Hey, Papa, look, I'm ready to race."
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the blood. What can I say?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you set the bar high.
See, there you go. I know you're getting ready to go somewhere with this thing. Go. Anyway, all right. Well, next week on the show, Kirsten Simmons is going to be with us. She won her first race down at
South Boston.
South Boston, and like a U car. I'll get the right terminology.
We'll figure out next week.
Yeah,
she'll straighten us out. I bet
we'll get the right terminology next week. Then Carrie Denning will be here with us next week. She's going to come on and give us an update on what's going on at Southampton Speedway. Now, I'm not sure what the deal is there. I'm not sure who all's involved. She's
going to let us know.
I'm not sure about all that, so I can't honestly say what's going on. I'll know more tomorrow, but.
So if you want to find out about all the rumors at Southampton Speedway, be here next week, 7 o'clock.
We'll see what's going on, and hopefully by then we'll also have an answer about Langley. Would love to see that happen. And,
yes, it would be a very sad day. I know Bill Mullis, and I want to thank him for everything he's done and continues to do for Langley Speedway, and I hope he.
Well, I know
still around.
I know he's really trying to make it right and trying to get it, and I know he's pushing hard, but he seems like he's meeting some roadblocks along the way.
Yeah, and anytime you're negotiating these big deals, it's not a 5-minute negotiation.
No.
And it's not like going to buy a car and you say one thing, they say another, and then they're going to get you done for you in a couple hours because they want to sell you that car. So it just takes time, and it's a work in progress, and hopefully we'll get something done, and my understanding, hopefully they'll know something hopefully by this weekend. And it's that daggone phone of yours, ain't it? But know something by this weekend, and in my understanding that he could have the racetrack up, ready, and going within a week. So that's great news. So as soon as something is official,
it's not like he's got a lot to do with getting it up and running as far as the physical part of it.
A little bit, but I mean,
you got to do something. I mean, there's always something to do. But I'm saying, as far as the physical, the track itself and everything, it's up to date. It's ready to go.
Right.
It's not like it is out at Southampton where they're going to have to do.
They're going to have to spend $500,000.
More than that. More than that. There's going. I don't know if you looked at the thing she put on there about the walls and stuff like that out there, but there's a lot of work that's going to have to be done there. And,
yeah, I mean, I looked at the one that we should have stopped yesterday or Saturday morning just for the hell of it, or should have went earlier and stopped. But I mean, you figure it's got to have a brand new facelift. It's got to have asphalt, walls, and stands.
Yeah, and
I mean at minimum.
And the building itself there, where the press box and everything is, I think that's pretty much in bad shape. That's going to probably have to be redone too. So
hopefully they'll have our pro wing champ carts there. We can run down there a few times.
Yeah. So I've told them that
I'll put the bug in her ear when she gets here.
But I've told them that I'm willing to help them in any way I can to help. I don't know what I can do.
Are you investing in it? Or?
No, I'm not investing. That's not one of the things I can do.
Well, I mean, you said it, so I'm just.
No, but I told her, work. She's going to have to include those people in the area, and I'm willing to. Yeah. I'm willing to help her talk to those people.